Henry Ford said something 75 years ago. He said, what we need on this planet is a lot more people who specialize in the impossible. And we still need it here. And Steve is a great example of a person who navigates the impossible on a daily basis. So would you welcome Steve Siskel?
You know, in all the talks and seminars I've done over the past 2 decades, people always ask the question, do I have a purpose? How do I find my life's purpose? Am I passionate in my work? I'm not sure. And that's where we need the body, because inside are those answers. I call it the garden of wisdom. Inside my body, if I listen, what is my purpose today? I can feel and get an energetic answer. But if I don't do that, I'll answer the phone and just run on knee-jerk reactions, run on automatic. And also I'll notice that my whole day will be different. But if I take a moment, I tune into my body and I say, what is my purpose today? And I actually say it and it feels good, then I'm embodying my purpose and I'm beaming out my purpose message. And that passion will attract people towards me. I don't know if you know, but in India, when they get married, they carry the couple around on chairs for like days. So I'm sitting there in the middle of this busy street, and all of a sudden a wedding procession comes right through the middle of town, and I'm like, wow, look at that. They're carrying this couple, and they're all partying, they're playing music, they're having a great time, and all of a sudden my epiphany happened. A herd of cows showed up, and they just walked right through the wedding procession, and I got it. I said, okay, that's what it is. I'm going to be as comfortable as the cows. I called it cow consciousness. I'm going to just walk through India with the consciousness of a cow. I belong here. I'm going to walk wherever I walk and wind up wherever I want. I mean, no kidding. So I wake up the next day and I go, okay, day one in India. I'm going to try this. God, my inner voice said, go to India, you're going to get a healing, you're going to get over this depression, you're going to find out what's going on, let's find out what's going on. So I'm walking around kind of, you know, I could put a little something on it, you know, kind of like mooing and walking and just kind of figuring, okay, I'm a cow, that means I'll just walk and see what happens. Well, no kidding, I walk down a street and I feel my body. You ever feel that feeling where like you don't know why, but you're just guided somewhere, or you're just walking somewhere and you don't know why? So it was one of those. So I'm walking down this alley and I got scared. And you know what happens when we get scared? We usually retreat or it's too uncomfortable. And I got really uncomfortable. And what I always teach is when you climb up a diving board and you're ready to dive and you're like really scared, you're at a choice point. You can either climb down the diving board and not dive and go through whatever it feels that you were all ready to dive and you didn't. Go down the steps, or you can dive afraid. You could actually dive off that diving board feeling totally afraid. So I decided that I was going to do that. I was going to walk down the alley, even though I was afraid. At this point, what did I have to lose? This is one time where I really said, I'm ready to surrender. So I walked down the alley, and I saw a man who caught me, and he was waving, come. Oh, man, okay. I'm trusting the inner voice more and more, and he says, come. And when I get to him, he says 2 words. He says, Dalai Lama. And I said back to him 2 words. I said, Dalai Lama? And he kept going. He said, Dalai Lama. And I thought, all right, this is nice. The guy wants me to know about the Dalai Lama. Okay, Dalai Lama? Dalai Lama. Okay. So he says to me, come. And he has a little scooter. And that was the big decision right there, because here I am. I'm alone. I'm in India. And do I get on this scooter? I don't know where I'm going. So at that point, I just said, you know what? This is it. I'm either going to follow this voice or I'm going to climb down the steps. I got on the scooter. And we're out in the countryside, and we're riding, and I'm just praying, and, you know, I surrender. I mean, whatever happens today, I'll trust, I'll have faith. And he pulls into this field, and I see a circle of people. And as I got closer, they were wearing robes, and it was 15 Tibetans, and in the middle was the Dalai Lama. And he brings me over to the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama breaks out in hysterical laughter. He's like, ah! And I thought, okay, he must know what I've been through. But the point was, I think about all the people that want to meet the Dalai Lama, want to meet a religious leader, want an inspiration. And what happened? Here I was in a choice where I could have done any one of my old habits and just pushed down the voice and said, heck with it, I'm just going to forget this. Or I could have followed it. And by following that inner voice, I got to meet the Dalai Lama day one in India. And it was a miraculous month in India. And I came back really rejuvenated, really healed. The Dalai Lama's message was exactly what I needed. He was speaking in Hindi and somebody was interpreting it. And I was like, wow, this is exactly what I needed about loving yourself and having compassion for other people and not blaming anybody else. And all of that just permeated. And I had an amazing month. And I came back and moved to Maui and changed my life and so forth. But the message I want to get across is think about those times where you had that inner voice tell you and you either ignored it or you had that inner voice say, let go of that relationship, or don't go there, or that instinct that said, if you call that person, something good could happen, and what might have kept you from following that instinct?
I have personally experienced Steve Siscold's amazing work. He has a method of making your body your ally that absolutely works.
Feel free to put your hands up. Really feel it. Hands together. Feel the breeze. Sunshine.